A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show with me, Mitch Thunder Nellis, here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. It is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon throughout the state of Wisconsin. I don't know how it is in the humid basin of Tennessee, but let's find out with our very good friend, Mr. Mason Crosby.
Yeah, it's pretty nice here. I already went and worked out, got some swings in at the driving range. So
did you work out and get swings in? Or is that the workout? Okay.
No, I totally did both.
Everybody slow down, relax.
I'm on a 2-day streak right now. You know, it's just trying to stack success over here.
That's right. What's your workout of choice these days?
Well, I'm doing some total body stuff, just kind of getting the base built back up, and then we'll start kind of a more intense program, I would say, here in a week or two. But just trying to hit all the bases. I did more of a pull set yesterday, and then today I did some chest press. Hit the legs, trying to get these legs back firing. Just in case. Brentwood High calls, or maybe I can go back to my alma mater and get another
year in. What is that? Yeah. What's the spring league in Birmingham? I feel like you could drive over to Birmingham pretty easily and kick to them.
Exactly. Yeah, is that the UFL?
Yeah, whatever it is.
I could go the CFL easy.
Oh, for sure. Except that their field is even longer. So
true, but the field goal, the uprights are at the front.
That's right. That's right.
A lot easier.
Not to pick on your lady friend or anything like that here on the Mason Crosby Show, but how's her rehab going? I know she's still recovering from an injury.
Yeah, I mean, moving around. There's a normal operating procedure, but she's not doing anything intense. She kind of half jogged yesterday. We were walking the dogs, and I was like, just take it easy. We're not doing anything crazy here. Unfortunately, summer got crazy, and so she did not. She did not stay with her program the way that she should. So I'm hoping she gets back into a more serious workout and training regimen just to get back strong. I mean, it's unfortunate when it happened because she was, playing tennis, running, like she felt really good. So sometimes that's when those things just set you back a little bit, but she'll be back stronger than ever.
Nice. As expected, no surprise.
How are you doing, Mitch? I know, you're shedding some pounds.
I'm shedding some pounds, but I'm not getting to the gym like I should be.
Okay.
And I have windows. And I don't know what I'm getting caught doing. But
it's tough.
Yeah. So hopefully I'm thinking when the kids get back to school and there's more of that routine, I will get into a better routine of getting back to the gym, because I am shedding some weight with Milwaukee Weight Loss. And I know that I think they do a great job. And so if you go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com and find out how you can get on your path, I'm down. I would say I'm like, so I started right around like 220. I'm right around like today I was 202. So I'm anywhere from like 199 to 202 these days. And I want to get to 190. So
you just go hit that gym, and all of a sudden it's just going to start,
hit the gym and drink water, right?
Exactly. And so I think, the Mason Crosby Show on this Tuesday, we're just, encouraging people, just do just a little physical activity. Let's see if the Mason Crosby Show can, be one of the better show. We're going to work. Yes. We're going to just put a little work in.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be strenuous and hard every day, but we're just going to see where we're at here in a couple months, and see if we feel really good about ourselves.
All right. So speaking of, we feel good about ourselves, Cleveland Browns fans, we know, don't feel good about themselves because they have Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. LSU fans are feeling really good about themselves because they maybe are getting Daquan Wright as their tight end, who played at Ole Miss and then went to the he was with Philly, and then he was with the Browns, and now he's going to LSU. But the Big Ten does not feel good about that because reports are coming out that the Big Ten wants to bar NFL players who have done that and coming back. And then, of course, the Athletic has to release this report on CTE that 1 in 4 NFL players have brain disease, and that it might be much higher than that. We've got Dusty Evely at 12:20. We've got Paul Wagner at 1 o'clock. But we've got a lot on our plate right now, Mace.
Yeah, gosh, where do we want to start? I mean, do we dive in where we left off yesterday and just talk about this college football guys coming back and what that means for the landscape of college football and the NFL? Because, I mean, can the NFL do anything there, or is this all just?
I don't think the NFL cares. Yeah, I don't think if I'm the NFL, what do I care? Right? I mean, I guess in the world we live in, though, it's like, what is deemed a professional? You're getting paid to play in college, so how are you not technically a pro at that point? Can the Big Ten just tell all of its teams, like, you're not allowed to do this, or is it a university by university decision? Do all the teams in the Big Ten have to agree that they aren't going to allow, signed NFL players to come back with eligibility? And my question to you, Mitch, third part of this is, do you have to still have a true year of eligibility, or is this are you getting an additional year because this, court in Louisiana, right?
Which is ironic that now Lane
LSU.
Kiffin is going to get the LSU guy.
Of course it's Lane Kiffin. All right, so
said that these guys can come back and play.
The Big Ten is saying any player who has declared for the NFL draft and did not withdraw, appeared on an NFL roster, or signed a contract with a pro league cannot be on a Big Ten roster. Meanwhile, the NCAA has said that they are granting, or the NCAA says that the court rulings that are granting fifth-year eligibility are having a destabilizing effect on college sports. But the court ruling is that players can regain their college eligibility if they terminate their pro contracts and repay any pro earnings. Does that mean per diem too? Like, do you have to repay per diem and all that? Like, because I assume these guys
look at the full, your W-2 at the end, right? Okay, and you just say, all right, what did I make in this offseason? I mean, literally though, guys, if you're an undrafted free agent or it's like $10,000, like $12,000. Like it's not a lot. No, like it's a lot in terms of it is real money.
It's not nothing. But he goes back to LSU and they want him. Who knows? Maybe he gets a $100,000 NIL deal. He's just like, okay, that's a lot better than that's a lot better than what he's making in training camp and potentially as a practice squad member. Like, does it, and especially a practice squad who's never going to get a call up, you want to bet on yourself, but if you could make a quick 100, 200 grand and play one more year in college and then better your situation for next year, maybe make and play real significant football. If you're on a practice squad, you're trying to bump up and maybe you get called up and then you get 3 games and that's awesome. But once you do that, then it's over, right? Like this whole even thought of this is over, or it might not be, but like as of right now, it should be over. I do think if you are drafted, that's different.
You should,
I think that's different.
Like you shouldn't be able to, But if you just signed, even if you're a tryout player, you signed with a team and you went through off season, they cut you and you have no hope to go through anything. You clear waivers. If you have a extra year of eligibility, like why not? Go back. So, I'm curious how people feel about this.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talking text line. 414-677-1250. Because I think, like a lot of people, and I'm guessing we're going to hear this on the text line, Mason. I think when we first heard about this, we were like, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. Like the NCAA is broken. The lawyers are broken. The court system's broken. The whole system's broken. I think the more and more we think about it, the more it's like, all right, so you're an undrafted free agent who maybe is going to make the practice squad, or maybe he's going to bounce around between 3 different practice squads this year. You're not making a pro roster. You're not getting an NFL paycheck. And now all of a sudden you have a year of eligibility left and you can go back and play, having never played a professional football game. Like you haven't, you've been in a camp.
You've never been paid to play in a professional game.
Maybe you played in a preseason game, but that is a practice game. That is not a real professional game.
They don't bump up your pay on that day.
No.
It is just every day has a set amount through training camp.
Right. You get paid for regular season football games that you play in. I don't want to get into this conversation right now, Mason, but part of me is thinking like, all right, so how's this going to be with NBA players? Because they only have 2 rounds. So a ton of guys are undrafted. And if they declare, now there are dates where you can declare and come back in the NBA. So it's a little different. We'll get to that.
They already have a system.
We'll get to that when we get to that. But
doesn't
this
NCAA,
has never happened before in the NFL with NCAA football in the NFL.
Didn't we talk? Gosh, was it Rick Jordan? It was someone we were talking to. And it was just like, why not just make it a blanket? You get 5 years of eligibility. As long as you never play professionally, like however that looks, you can tap into 5 years of eligibility.
Okay.
Because right now, it's still only 4.
Well,
like you only have 4, and then you can
have 5
redshirt.
now. Right? No, I think you have 5 now.
Is it totally 5?
I don't know if it's totally 5, but I think that was the
if
point.
If you redshirt and do all,
but not even if you redshirt. Like I think for the class of 22, they gave them a 5th year.
Well, because of COVID times and things like that.
So I don't know if it's blanket, but if you played in 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, that's your 4 years. They have given that class specifically a 5th year. And that's why all these players who went to the NFL, because they thought they were done, because they had to have played. Because somebody asked me, Joey Aguilar, who was part of a lawsuit. He was the quarterback at Tennessee last year. He's not going to make whatever team he's trying out for. Like he's the 3rd string or 4th string. He's not going to make the team. And so my family was like, well, can he come back to Tennessee? Because he was awesome in Tennessee last year. And I said, no, because he didn't play 4 straight years. He played a couple junior college years before that.
So
it wasn't right.
Ate up some of those.
Exactly. So this is only for players who played 4 straight college football years, the last 4 years. This would be their 5th year of eligibility. They've been granted that eligibility by the court in LSU in Louisiana. And now you have this chaos because all those players who thought they were done have 1 more year of eligibility.
Why don't you let me just throw this out there. Do you think if you just said, hey, everybody gets 6 years of eligibility in college, do you think you would actually just have some players play 6 years and not even like there'd be some guys that it'd be like, like who aren't the NFL doesn't work out and you're done. Like you just kind of make college now with NIL.
Right.
That's your professional career.
Well, yes, but because part of it, Mason, I think is as we've seen, there's a certain type of player. There are players who are built to succeed at college who aren't going to succeed at pros.
Exactly.
I think of a guy like Ron Dane. Okay.
Yeah.
And Ron Dane was, a Heisman Trophy winner, all-time leading rusher in NCAA history when he was done, and he was just not. I don't think he was ever really good. Like he had a couple nice, okay games and an okay season here and there, but like as a Heisman Trophy candidate, if he could have stayed 2 more years, and granted, he ended up being a high draft pick, but he wasn't really an NFL body.
Yeah.
And not just him, but like Gino Torretta, is and that's a long time ago, but he's a quarterback at Miami. He's unbelievable in college and can't even sniff the pros because he's not the right body type. It doesn't have the arm strength. I think there are players who are built for college who are not built for the pros who, yes, probably would stay that 5th year by choice and not go to the NFL or 6th year even.
Let's throw out this other side of what a nothing burger this is in all reality, because we're not talking about 1st, 2nd, 3rd round. We're not talking about the top guys, right? Like we're talking about guys that you just hope don't get hurt during training camp because you never want them on your team, right? So it's like, why do we concern ourselves at all with this? Like, what does it really, what does it matter in the scheme of things if you had 1st round draft picks not liking the team they went to and then dropping off and then going back to college, then that's in my mind a huge issue, right?
Agreed.
You get Arch Manning next year declaring for the draft, Browns draft him and he says, I'm going to go back to college. Like that throws that affects the NFL and that affects a lot of things. And then that's when a rule would get really solidified and put in place.
Agreed.
Until something like that happens, like this guy, the Cleveland Browns didn't want this tight end. Like if he wants to go back and play for LSU, I don't know why it bothers anyone in all reality.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up Daquan Wright's stats right now, like because he's a tight end in college. Yeah. So he has, as opposed to linemen, who don't really have stats. But if you look at,
was he any good?
I don't think he was that good, but he did have some. Where can I click on? I'm so broken at this. Like I click on his ESPN profile, and it has him as an NFL player. So you can't even see his college stats right now because he's listed as an NFL player. Which
I think if the NCAA, if all like they almost need to deem, and I don't know, like I'd be curious to hear or see what like the NFLPA thinks of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if you don't deem players, like unless you're drafted, if you're an undrafted free agent and you sign with a team, like are you like they have it as a different contract where you're not technically an NFL player, right? Like
right. Yeah.
If they figured out a system, lawyers getting like all the stuff, and it's like a separate
that would
contract
make more sense
until you get on that 53, and then you sign your new contract saying, all right, now I'm actually in the NFL. That would be the only, but the NFL has those contracts in place because it protects them during that time, right? Yep. So it is tricky because you might make pennies as far as an NFL player is concerned in the offseason, but you get hurt in this last preseason game, like that, right? If he got hurt in the second preseason game and it was a 3-month injury, they would have had to settle out with him, right?
Yep.
Like an assumption that he was losing money as an NFL player. So in that regard, there's nuance to it.
Last year, Daquan Wright with Ole Miss had 39 catches for 635 yards and five touchdowns. In the they beat Georgia in the first playoff game, and he had 2 catches for 18 yards in that one. And then in the second one, when they lost to Miami, he was 3 for 64 and a touchdown. I mean, in like a national semifinal,
legitimate
like
tight end.
Yeah,
I'd say that's a legitimate college tight end.
I would too.
Those numbers aren't awful.
No,
for sure.
Ram is on the north side of Milwaukee. He's first up on the Mason Crosby Show. Remember, 414-677-1250 is the phone number. Ram, what do you got for us today?
I got a solution, Mason and Mitch. Now, the NBA,
solutions.
Y'all probably remember, they used to have something called hardship. So if you jump from college to the NBA, didn't make it, you couldn't go back to school. And then they came up with this CBL. Then now with football, you got the other league. Why won't maybe the colleges work with the G League and other, so that could be like the little in-between league? So you can't really go back to college, but you can still make a living. And
you can't have a G League in football because there's too many injuries.
You think so? That's what it is. Really?
I think that's a big part of it. Is that like
it's too much to manage with the injuries and the movement? Yeah.
Because the conversation that no one wants to talk about is the revenue that's made in college football. So okay, you got the transfer portal and they got the NIL, this piece, but I just say for football, you can't go in the draft after your junior year, right?
After your junior year. Yeah.
Right. So you're sitting there for 2 years and you finally get a chance to play, then you get a chance, well, I'm going to take a shot at it. Now they're saying, well, you can come back to college. And I can see why some teams will have a problem with that, but
sure.
As an athlete, and Mason and Mitch, you two can probably speak that more than me, but you want to give football as much as you can till you just can't go no more.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you can say, hey, I tried it this way, and it worked out for me, or it didn't work out, like in Mason's case and so forth. So on the money part, I think that the amateur or pro athlete should be able to make as much money as they possibly can, and I don't see a real problem with it.
Whether it's in college or in pros, Ram, I would
say. Right. That's all I'm saying. People making a big issue about it, but I don't have a problem with. I'm gonna say this real quick. What I wished it was NIL when I came out of high school. I'm just saying. I mean, I know a lot of guys. We had that conversation now.
Mason.
But AAU, your parents investing all this money in it. Sometimes a parent looking at it and saying, "Boy, I got a chance to get some of my money back."
Yep.
Thanks for the call. Making as much as possible.
Mace, did your parents ever give you a bill for what you owed them in AAU fees?
No, they didn't. I mean, my dad, like, he was smart. He the business he was in, he sold some herbicides and turf care stuff. So he would offset some of our soccer fees by taking care of the fields and donating product and doing all that stuff.
Jim's no dummy.
He's not a dumb guy. It's like you use what you have. But I like this in the Nicolay. This is like kind of last thing before we go to break.
Yeah.
The 608 says if you're going to give 6 years, got to only allow one transfer between programs. So would that be part of it where it's like, hey, you could come back to your alma mater, like where you played,
right? If
you never if you had only stayed in one spot.
Yeah.
Like this could be a way NCAA, if they were smart, to kind of combat some of this crazy transfer world, is saying like, hey, if you stay in one place for 3 or more years, you can get an additional year if you don't make it in the NFL. I don't know.
All right, I gotta think about that.
There's too many. Then it's clearing out. Right. There's too many things to track.
Yeah,
like at some point, how do you track?
That's the
tracking
job.
All this is going to be a nightmare.
It is. We're going to put Dusty Evely in charge of tracking all this, I think.
All right, Dusty.
Yeah. So Dusty's going to join us next from Acme Packing Company, Pack a Day Podcast. He's going to join us. We're going to talk some Packers. Who's fighting who? Are Matt and Mike really meeting at the 50-yard line? Because you could sell tickets to that, I bet.
I think they could. Yeah,
I think they
could.
What
did that used to be? Celebrity death match?
Death match, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
The claymation of Mike and
Matt. That was the best.
Ding, ding. Let's go. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Dusty Evely is next, right here on The Mason Crosby Show.
Yes, sir.
This is the Mason and Crosby show. Man, if this doesn't get you revved up, I don't know what does.
I'm juiced.
Yeah, as you
Look
should
at me.
be.
I didn't wear dad season hat today.
What do you got going on?
I took the day off.
Is that
I'm not dad seasoning.
What are you today?
This is the Grand Geneva, but
nice.
A little green and green and gold.
Is that a rope? Is that a rope hat?
I like the rope hats.
Do you? I don't know enough about them. Like I haven't formed an opinion yet. Is that like? I
just need the right. I need the right depth bucket and the right structure, and this is a great golf hat.
Like I think it adds. Like I mean, obviously it looks like a Packers hat. It's green and gold, and so the colors are right. So the rope looks good because it's a green hat with a gold rope.
Exactly.
Perfect. Nice.
Green and yellow.
Oh man, here we go. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, our very good friend Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company. What's up, Dust?
Not much, man. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. Yeah.
Great.
Thanks for jumping on.
Ready for brother on brother fisticuffs. Let's go.
Man, I'm ready, man. Let's do it. You guys were talking celebrity death match earlier. I'd be 100% down for that, man. Let's roll.
Oh man, you know they're gonna do some cheesy like pretend fight, like where
and then hug, like do the that, and then go into a hug.
Yeah, exactly.
I want them to come out of that, and then like someone just sticks out a foot to trip the other one. Like that's just do the cheesy stuff, but then I want some
do the like on your hands and knees and push them over. The guy.
have somebody behind them.
Yeah,
one of them does that. That'll be classic.
Let's do it.
Over under that is it a 80% chance that there is actually a real fight in this joint practice, or do you think that Mike and Matt are going to be able to convince their players that this needs to be a really a mutually agreed upon, like we're not going to fight at these practices?
I was trying to think back on that. I mean, I think that's obviously the way we want to go, but I can't remember the last time that I saw a joint practice without some kind of fight. Like not as bad as the Cowboys Saints was like 10 fights in a day. Like,
not a full out brawl. Like there's going to be a scuffle.
Yeah. I think there'll be something where they have to be separated and someone tries to throw a punch. Like there'll be at least one of those, I think, because I don't know that I've seen a joint practice without one. But I think it'll be, I don't know, somewhat subdued. I mean, as far as like fighting stuff, I don't think it'll be that bad. But we'll hear one or two reports. I'd be shocked if we didn't.
It's surprising. I feel like it's actually with the ones more than with the secondary group, because I think like the 2s and 3s like are going to go harder in general, and they're just like almost treating it more like a game. It's the ones when there's a young guy that's like, got in on defense and he's now a starter and he goes way too hard and takes liberty on an offensive lineman, a running back, hits the quarterback a little bit, and that's inevitably what's going to happen in this thing. But let's start on the offensive side of the ball. I know you break all this down. I've been curious as I've watched these receivers, during camp, during these preseason games. There's been some guys. We kind of know the top 3 or 4. I mean, Savion Williams is going to be probably that 4th guy. So are they keeping 5? Are they keeping 6? Like, who are those back end guys? The predictions right now, it's Bo Melton, Sky Moore, and Bo Melton just because of his special teams stuff. Do you think we could see some surprises there as Will Shepherd played his way into this roster?
My guy, and maybe it's just, I mean, I mentioned before in here, I am a big I'm SEC country. I live in Kentucky. I started paying attention to college football when I lived in Florida. So I grew up watching a lot of Florida football. So I still keep up with them. I love J. Michael Sturdivant. And some of that is just, it's trait stuff. The 2 guys I've really been looking at have been him and Nair. Shepherd obviously flashed. To me, I think Nair and Sturdivant are both, I don't know, like this is just body type. I've not looked this up. Shepherd looks more stout. It's kind of like a wider body, where the other guys are kind of tall and bigger. And for a blocker, if you're going to look for like a guy bottom of the roster guy, to me that bigger body can block a little bit. And Nair looks more like he can open it up a little bit. I think he ran like a 4.47. It doesn't really show that much. Nair looks more like possession guy, and Sturdivant is just burner. So Sturdivant looks like MVS before MVS fully learned how to block. But I would rather go if you're going like, I think the 6 feel relatively locked. Like they really like Bo Melton.
Yeah.
If it's me, like I could,
and his quality on special teams, you gotta look at that.
And his pass defending abilities at corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you can do all things.
Pitch. That's right. We got 2 Melton corners.
You gotta have guys like that. They're not flashy, but Bo Melton is a guy that makes rosters because he can just do what you need him to do.
He does his job. I've never heard him complain. They moved him to cornerback last year. By all accounts, he put his whole body into it. Like that's cool.
Yep.
So I think you're probably looking at a 7 if you're looking to keep him. And I just based on that, my hope would be Sturdivant, because those traits are hard to find. Like those big bodies that can fly, and he's a willing blocker. That's cool. And then you hope you get, and you probably will, either Nair or Shepard both with practice squad, because those guys can use a little more developing, and I feel like they're a little more limited in terms of skill set. Where Sturdivant, like, I don't know, man. I've always been a man that's just, if you can find a fast guy, just try to figure out something else he can do. So I'd rather take a flyer on that.
All right, next question. I'm going to the tight end room. Tucker Kraft, and then who else?
Me.
Who? What are we doing there?
Why is Mitch Nellis the backup tight end for the Green Bay Packers this year?
Tight end 3, Mitch Nellis. Many are saying. I mean, I think it's got to be Wiley. Wiley is more like he seems like the guy, and he's more the receiving guy. He's kind of the Musgrave dude. I just a little earlier today, I've been trying to go through and just watch player by player, and it gets tough because there's so many of them, and I find myself drifting more towards defense. I didn't like him in the first preseason game. I like what Dabney showed, and I kind of like what Castle showed as well. Like if you're looking for, both those guys can move a little bit. I think my Dabney love is, I really like Dominique Daphne, and they're the same looking dude. It's the same number. It's close to the same name.
Dabney,
they're both number 49.
Very confusing. Very confusing.
Right. It freaks me out, man. But I think both Dabney and Castles are both like a smaller dude, but they've gotten better blocking and they can move a little. So, I mean, I think it was like, you look at someone like Swinson. Swinson's a blocker. Like he doesn't move that well, but he can block. So I think the way they were playing, Dabney was playing with the ones. Dabney or Castles is like the next guy, but I think we don't know anything about Musgrave, I think, at this point. Wiley
I was
feels
going
like
to ask about Musgrave. I'm like, is Musgrave, like, if he's, if he can't come back from, like, are they done with him? Like, is this just kind of the end of the road?
Or should they be?
I mean, I think I like him more than most people, but yeah, I don't know that he's shown enough to be like, we need to make sure we get him back next year. And that's without the neck stuff. I mean, it's
right. Yeah, that's just a weird deal.
Yeah, I think because at his ceiling, he is better than Wiley. I like Wiley, but Musgrave is better. Wiley can do some different things. But as far as a receiver, I like Musgrave.
Yeah, matchup wise, he's tough.
He just can't stay on the field. It's kind of tough in that respect.
All right, the big question: offensive line. Who we looking at starting 5? Who do you think should be starting 5? If it's not the 5 that are projected to start. So, just tell me, what you think the rotation and what group should be out there.
I've put way too much thought into this, man.
I know you have. I was waiting to ask the line question because I know you thought about it.
Dusty, when we were texting about, let's get Dusty on the show, Mason was like, I'm just going after him about O-line. Like he was prepped for this. So I should have warned you. You.
No, listen, it's top of mind for me always. My main question just revolves around, it's a lot of Belton because they played him at tackle. He's been right tackle, but Bakabaweli's been out. And so they seem like they really like Belton as a tackle. I very much differ from the Packers in that respect. I don't know that he feels just more like a guard to me in terms of movement skills and all that stuff. So I don't know if that's just because Bakabaweli's been out and the plan is to slide him back into right guard, where I think he got better last year. There's still some pass pro issues there. If that's the case, that's what I would like. I would like Morgan. I don't know what's going on with Banks. I think I'm lower on Burton at this point than a lot of people are. There's potential there, but I don't think he's where I would like to see him right now. But at the same time, like I like Monk a tad better there. If we're looking at guards, the size thing is something different. But maybe Monk there, Ryan at center, Belton at right guard, Bakabaweli at right tackle. Now, if they see Belton as only a guard, and I don't know what's going on with Kennard because I feel like it's been weird in that front in the offseason, and you want Belton to be like OT6. If he's your swing tackle, he's also your 6th offensive lineman and that stuff. And then you want to just put Monk and Burton at guards, which suggests kind of a return to wide zone passing. We've seen a lot of boot stuff. You're getting smaller at the guard spot. I don't know that I love it, but I understand it. To me, it's that left guard spot. I would love to see Belton. Our lad still has him listed as starting right guard. I think that's a spot. Put him there. Don't overthink it. Just do that. And then
that's what I was going to say. I'm like, if Zebach, let's say he gets hurt, early on, like, who are you moving to right tackle? Like, Belton has not shown that he plays right tackle at an elite NFL or even like an average NFL level. So is it Kennard? Is it someone else? Like, who do you put at that right tackle spot if Zebach is not out there?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they like Belton there, which, again, I very much disagree with them there. But then you look at it, and it is maybe Kennard. We've seen him get cooked at tackle before, but he's probably your next guy. I've been watching, preseason, I've been watching John Williams. He doesn't have the feet or movement for it now. Like, there's no feel for that position. Maybe he gets to something at some point. But, I mean, it's kind of one of those – I don't know what they have at tackle. I think the next guy up's got to be Kennard, but I think they like Belton. So my thought would be, in that case, Belton's your right guard. If Bakawele gets injured, Belton slides over to right tackle, and then Burton is probably starting right guard. It's probably that I imagine that's the way they're thinking about it, unless Kennard's next man up.
Dusty Evely joining us here on the Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Dusty, big picture wise, would you rather have – you have your starting five, and then if somebody gets hurt or needs a break, would you rather have somebody slide and somebody else come in? Or would you rather have, like, you play your position, and if somebody has to come in, they're coming in from the bench to that person's position, and let the people, because I'm very strongly like, let guys learn their position and play the position they're best at. And if you need backups for other positions or guys are hurt, don't slide guys over from their best position to it. It's just not strengthening it's not strengthening the core. It's not strengthening the team by doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you there. I mean, the only thing I would say is if you've got a center and then your right guard is you think it's like your backup center and you like him and you got a right guard and waiting. If the center goes down, I have no problem sliding those guys around. If you think like, all right, well, with this guy, we like our right guard at center. We got the backup right guard. We think that guy is better at right guard, or is better at backup right guard than he would be backup center. Like, I think there is like a moving piece thing to it, but I don't like the idea of, if we look at Belton specifically, go back to whatever that playoff game was when they
guard
put Billy
to
Turner
tackle
left tackle.
is so tough.
Yeah, and like, just if you like, again, if it's where you see him, like, I would rather just, if Belton's going to take his lumps, if he's going to learn a guard, leave him at guard. Like, right tackle, man, you can adjust stuff, you can figure you can find someone who can play a perfectly fine right tackle. I'm not a fan of weakening two spots. If Belton is not a good backup right tackle, I don't like the idea of ruining right tackle and then also bringing in a weaker player right guard. Now your entire right side is compromised. So I don't like that.
Do you think, I mean, looking at it and thinking about my time there, it always needed some versatile offensive line, and especially in the guard center positions, like there were always guys there. But I felt like with Campen and with McCarthy and like that group, it was definitely more solidified. Like, we didn't have guards jumping out to tackle as much. Like, you'd have a guy that floated and could do a lot of the positions, like always as your sixth guy and your seventh guy. Since LaFleur and Steno have been there, I feel like, and maybe with Goody at the helm, he's trying to get more creative and get more of these guys that he feels can play all the positions and do all these things. And let's be honest, since that time, like, offensive line has been a bit of an issue, right? Like, we just don't even know exactly where like Jordan Morgan is finally playing left tackle. Like, you almost didn't even know that was going to be his position for the last 3 years until now he steps into that role. So do you think that's just a new philosophy with Goody, who he's bringing in, with Steno, with LaFleur, like how they view their offensive line?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, the Morgan and Belton thing is really weird to me, because they've always talked about cross training, best five, all that. And the Green Bay traditionally, I mean, to your point, has always been like, they draft the tackles, but then if we feel someone's better as a guard, they are a guard. Like, there is versatility there, but you're not prioritizing versatility over everything, but it's there in case you need it. The Morgan Belton thing is so weird, because Morgan to me was like that. He always felt like a tackle. You look at his feet, body, all that stuff. And they tried to cross train him everywhere on the line, and then were only forced to put him at tackle when they finally were forced to do it, kind of. Whereas Belton, so they moved Morgan all over the place. Yeah, Belton, they see him only as a tackle. don't think I'm mistaken here. I don't think he took a single guard at rep in any practices last year until there was a hole and he had to play right guard. So it's not just it's almost like this. I don't know. They do try to get versatile, but I think it also depends on like how they see their guys. And I think the Belton thing was maybe a response to Morgan. I think they had said like Morgan, it felt like they were kind of messing with his head too much. They want to give a guy one position. I just don't agree with the one position they've given Belton, but I do think there is a problem with that. And again, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I go back to whatever that playoff game where Billy Turner would play right tackle all year, and they slide him to left tackle, and it's a disaster. Like we've seen those things. I really like I like LaFleur, I like Goody. I think I like the job they've done. The offensive line has always been something that like I'm starting to lose a little trust that the plan there is maybe as clear as I would like for it to be.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with you. Let's go defense. We talked yesterday about the cornerback room, right? And it's I think you were talking about it, and last time you were on, and how it's like Keyshawn Nixon got thrust into a number one corner room, like. But watching that Denver game against a really good Denver offensive line, we were not able to get pressure with 4, right? Like it was just not happening. Is there a world where while Micah Parsons is not available for 6-8 games, whatever, do they need to kick the tires on going and getting a lockdown type corner to solidify that DB room on the outside?
I mean, I guess it depends on who's available. I've seen the reports on Joey Porter Jr., but I don't know. I've never really liked Joey Porter Jr. that much, and you put him in a Gannon stuff. I think he's Clamp's man coverage guy. Like that's what Joey Porter Jr. is. Like if you ask him to do, and some of the way Gannon will run stuff with the match quarter stuff, it's something that can convert to man, but like the processing is different, and so you're not just that man's mind. It's that man's mind unless this happens and this happens. So I don't like that. So as far as like if you can get an elite corner, the answer is usually yes. I don't know who's out there. I mean, I think they need to try to do that anyway. I think they need to try to bolster that position. I like what I've seen out of Cisse. I'm a slightly bigger Valentine fan than others. And again, I like what Gannon can do. I like what he can show. I also think that second preseason game, man, I think I don't even know
just not showing anything,
trying to get to the quarterback that much. So I think what Van Nessa show has been fun. Man, Anthony Campbell had some really nice pass rush reps. I think McClellan had some really nice ones as well. I think they'll be fine-ish against worse lines when they're actually like trying to dial some stuff up. I think I trust Gannon with that. But if they've got a chance, cut downs, trade prospects, whatever, if they've got a chance to upgrade that cornerback position, I mean, we know that's a big position that they need at least one other dude in. So they need to look at it, but I don't know that it's if they don't do this, the season's sunk kind of thing.
My last question, Mitch can go. Will Trey Smack go 100%? And if he doesn't, are we going to be disappointed?
He very clearly will be. You've seen him. The man's a gamer. The man's a gamer.
You can't miss now. Yeah. Now, I mean, expectations are through the roof, right?
The best first preseason in the history of Green Bay Packers kickers.
And I did a interview today and literally said, though, this exact I just said like the issue with young kickers is a little success early on, like the pressure, right? Like the expectation, like take the expectation off. If he makes, most of the kicks he needs to make, he has, a hiccup here and there, but like if he executes at a high level, look at that as a positive. And then it is playoffs. Like playoffs are the defining moments for these kickers, and that's what's fallen short. These guys haven't been awful in the regular season. Like we've had good seasons the last few years, but they've missed critical kicks in the playoffs, and that has to stop, and that has to stop this year. And that's Trey Smack's job, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys were the same way I was, but I think he hit 59, 51, 42, and I think his last one was 38. And I was like, oh, he's missing this one. Like he's this. Yeah,
right. No, thought
he's had a good preseason. So let's just keep stacking it.
At Dusty Evely on all the socials. Follow him, Acme Packing Company and Pack a Day Podcast. Dustin, at some point we got to do a podcast about MCU. Like we don't have enough time to talk about like how excited
I was going to ask you guys about Spider-Man. So yeah, let's do it, man.
Loved it. So Sadie Sink is like, she could do no wrong in my book. So she was great.
She rules.
All right. Thanks so much, Dusty. It's always a pleasure. We will definitely catch up with you soon as we get closer to the final preseason game and regular season real football.
Absolutely, gentlemen. Pleasure as always. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Right, he's Dusty Evely. We are the Mason Crosby Show. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I am Mitch Thundernellis. About a minute left here. And always great to catch up with Dusty. Like, I love the way he just breaks things down.
Yeah, he's been working on that offensive and defensive line, you can tell. So hopefully they get that thing figured out so he can have a little less stress in his life.
Mason, am I wrong that I just want a good old Donnybrook? Like, I don't want helmets being thrown. I don't want people punching helmets, but I want some scuffles.
You got to have some scuffles. Someone, like just a little headlock, something where, somebody just locks somebody up and, shoves and pushes. You got to have something.
I always love where the two guys have each other's face masks. Like, they're holding each other. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, don't twist the guy's neck. Second of all, what you're not doing any, like,
just straight arm. Who can, like, has the longer reach. I love that.
Yeah. We're going to talk some baseball. Paul Wagner is next right here on the Mason Crosby Show.
Let's do it.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
What it is, what it do. Welcome in to hour number 2 of the Mason Crosby Show. High noon in. I don't really have one. I didn't do my research.
Let's do Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Yeah. I always
Beautiful
forget
country.
about Wyoming.
I agree.
It's really nice.
Home of the Cowboys. What did you think of the Wyoming Cowboys when you were in college? Like, were they weren't a rival or anything, were they?
They were not. Did we play them? No, we played like Montana State one time.
Okay.
But we used to always go up to the rodeo.
Wyoming's
Great.
D1. Oh,
yeah.
You went for
Great
the rodeo?
Oh. Yeah.
What was the best thing you ate at the rodeo?
I love rodeos.
Do you?
Rodeos are, oh yeah.
Really?
I love rodeos. I don't know. I love the mutton busting. Just I love the calf roping. All the horses are just
every so often, man. The Texas just comes out. I love that.
That's full blown Texas.
I love that.
We had a small little rodeo in my hometown in Georgetown and come through every year, and it was the best.
Nice.
I think as a teenager, we got down and you had to go try to catch a calf.
Okay.
And that was like that was the whole thing. Whoever caught the calf got some, belt buckle and big prize. Like talk about.
Did you
country.
ever catch the calf?
Country. I did not catch the calf.
Okay. All right. That's fair. This is the Mason Crosby Show. Mitch Nellis, Mason Crosby with you. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I did not stop by yesterday. I still got the Jordan Love over on my mind. I will get there at some point.
I better.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that.
I missed the Miz, and
we
very
really
sad.
did. Yep. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, our good friend Paul Wagner. Paulie Wags, how you doing, brother?
Boys, I'm doing well.
All right, now you said that you might be a little late. You weren't today, but you might be a little late because of the eye doctor. Are you just like sharpening up those lenses for hunting season? Is that what's going on here? You got to make sure you can see straight.
Well, the eye doctor's code word, because I didn't know. Sometimes you got to be politically correct, and I'm just gonna come straight out. Part of our Lake Country Foundation, the fundraiser that we do in the Lake Country area for families and children, et cetera, we do have a gun raffle.
Okay.
Mr. Wagner won a gun, and I went and picked it up. But sometimes some people kind of shy when they hear guns, so I say, got an appointment with the eye doctor, not my FFA guy.
Well, yesterday we talked about science and sports performance, the difference between sports performance and actual like medical science. So I mean, you could probably have gone.
We're all over the place.
It's the dentist, eye doctor, like picking up your rifle for a raffle. I think you could probably get it all in one place, according to some people out there.
Exactly. I mean, when I pick up booze, it's always I'm picking up pizza. So
nice.
See, one-stop shopping by Paul Wagner. I like that.
That is fantastic. Well, one of the reasons we were talking about science yesterday, Paul, is that like somebody brought up Mickey Lolich and was talking about how like guys used to pitch 25 complete games in a season and 380 innings. And why are we babying the Miz at 150 innings? And then we said, oh, well, because fastballs used to be 92 miles an hour. And now they're 102 miles an hour. How have you seen kind of like the usage of innings pitched and the torque on the body and what guys are throwing now? How has that changed since you were a pitcher to where it is today?
I definitely think guys are being babied.
Okay, yeah, fair.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, we have guys that come in here and they say, through their whole minor league system. For instance, the Houston Astros, at one time, the Houston Astros let no minor leaguer pitch more than 75 pitches. And
wow.
That's like little league, bro.
Yeah, I mean, development has to take place.
Yeah.
Development takes place. It's not like a hitter who can take 1,000 swings in the cage, or it's not like an outfielder who can catch 1,000 fly balls a day, 1,000 ground balls. There's only so many pitches you can throw. And I get that, but if you're limiting that and you're not pressing, you're never fulfilling. And it happens all the time. But you go back to the different era. I think like if someone told me Warren Spahn didn't throw hard or Fergie Jenkins threw hard, there was just, I think it was just a different type of taking care of your body. It wasn't so scientific. It was, let's run, let's do cardio, let's play long toss, and let's just use the body. We throw baseballs. Nowadays, kids are kicking soccer balls. They're throwing footballs. I go, if you have time to throw a football, which doesn't do very much, it does a little bit according to Tom House and, certain other individuals. If you have time to do that, throw a baseball.
Yep.
I just think the babying is come to a point where it's almost psychological now. They're afraid. Oh, if I throw 99 pitches, if I throw 100 pitches, my arm's going to fall off. No, if you take care of your body and you take care of yourself, things will be fine. But again, the reduced workload is something that everybody's looking at, thinking that if I have 300 pitches in some guy, same with my gun. If I have three shotgun shells in the chamber, I got 3 shots, and
you're not,
you know what? I got
going to waste one. Yeah, you're not going to waste one, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. As always, Paul Wagner coming in, just speaking truth,
throwing the heat.
Yeah, just throwing heat. I can agree with that, and I think it's in all sports. I mean, it is, it's changed, and I do think because of the sports science and seeing, the unique things that are happening in your body, it's just like once you do get science involved, like in anything, you really regulate and shut it down even more, right? You're like, well, if we kind of push this a little bit, it could be bad. Like, I don't know how many times you've heard from a doctor, if you do this, it could be bad. And I'm like, well, is it now? Or is it like, is this like a 1 out of a million? Or is this like 1 out of 2? Is this a 50-50 chance? So give me better odds here. So I totally agree with what you're saying. And I think that's a really interesting concept there, Paul.
And I think everybody cautious, optimistic, they're always on the lower side. They're always on the cautious side because, I mean, you hate to bring money into it, but there's such a huge monetary investment in these kids. If there's a situation, does he pitch 100 pitches or does he go 75? We just signed him for $3.5 million signing bonus in the first round and the slot money for the 26th pick. Let's go with 75 just in case, because science has showed us that injuries take place after X amount of pitches at X velocity.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about this game coming up against the Mets, the lowly Mets. What's happened to them? What happened to the Mets, and why are they falling off so hard?
I don't know. Money can't buy you love, I guess.
That's true.
Juan Soto, I think David Stern had a great vision with Steve Cohen. I think they had a great idea. They wanted to do it. But when it comes down to it, we see the Milwaukee Brewers right now competing again with the best record in baseball. You see the Tampa Bay Rays doing it as well. You see other teams. It's not necessarily the best player. This is a game, I believe baseball is a game where all 9 guys have to contribute. The one hitter, and I'm using Juan Soto, nothing against him, he's a great player, but he gets 3 at-bats in a 9-inning game. He gets 4 at-bats in a 9-inning game to try to change the landscape. And it's hard. It's not like he's the quarterback of the football team and touches the ball 100% of the time, or he's Giannis, or, he's Steph Curry who touches the ball every time down the court, at least one. The coach doesn't say Giannis has to touch the ball or Steph Curry has to touch the ball in one sequence every time down the court. I mean, baseball's different. Baseball's a funny game. And I think scouting, understanding players, both physically and psychologically, all contribute to everything. And the Milwaukee Brewers may not be the most talented team, but somehow, some way, they throw all those 26 guys into this pot. Pat Murphy, he stirs it with a big wooden spoon, and, greatness comes out of it.
All right, Paul Wagner joining the Mason Crosby Show. I need you, Paul, to give me the positivity for October right now, because Mitch threw this stat at me earlier today that I thought, and we've talked about this before, and you've you've talked me off the ledge a little bit, on how this team can get it done. But the teams that out-homer their opponents have gone 53-13 across the last 2 postseasons. And each of the last 6 World Series champions ranked in the top 4 in home runs during the regular season. Can the Brewers break this trend? Is this possible? Tell me how they get it done, Paul.
If you recall, there was a conversation we had. I think the Milwaukee Brewers at that time, I don't know how many weeks back this was, they had 40 home runs.
They had 14
we were talking
home
about,
runs.
remember, and we were talking about what to acquire. You need a power bat. And the reason why those numbers are so significant that you just said is because we talked about this, I think, last week or a couple of weeks ago. When you bring in a dominant pitcher like a Tarek Skubal is a great pitcher. Clayton Kershaw, Blake Snell, these guys, they make one bad pitch, maybe 2 in a 9-inning game or a 7-inning game, as much as they're out there for. You have to take advantage of those mistakes where younger pitchers make more mistakes. And we've talked about that. As you learn, you grow and you reduce your mistakes. The problem is in baseball, when those mistakes are made, usually they are, as a pitcher goes, they're hit over the fence. I mean, Those are homers. So that is my one concern. We don't have the power. We're going to jump off. I mean, we're going to get a Jake Bauers homer. You're going to get a random Willie Contreras is going to knock one. Tarang's going to, we're going to get some randoms, but I really wish we had one thumper. For that reason in particular, maybe if he's coming off the bench or he's in the lineup, either way, it'd be nice, but I still think, don't worry, don't jump off the ledge. The Milwaukee Brewer team will upset the LA Dodgers and they will play in the World Series.
Do you just think, like, too, with this pitching staff that the Brewers have, you put Miz, you put Henderson, you put Harrison, Dustin May, like Dro, whoever, comes out at the end there, against the Dodgers, you just have to kind of withstand and like keep it tight in those early goings of those games. Try to get that starting pitcher off the mound for the Dodgers. Let's just always compare that. And then once you get into that bullpen, if you can find and carve out 2 or 3 runs, should be enough to win some of those games, especially come postseason time, right?
Exactly. And I think that's your philosophy. And on the reverse side, on the other side, let's just use the Dodgers again. The Dodgers' main goal right now is to pound 5 runs out of game 1 Mizorowski.
Yeah.
If they would do something like that to deflate Mizorowski, let's say Mizorowski has a bad day and he gives up 5 and 3 1/3 or 4, whatever. Now they feel like they've beaten them. Now, how do the other 25 guys in the Brewer clubhouse feel? Does Harrison say, okay, that's fine. Miz has done it all year. I'm going to pick it up right now. Dustin May, hey, I just got here. You know what? Miz has been doing everything for you guys. I've been seeing it from afar. I can do it right now. I'm going to pick you up. So that's what they need. I think the ploy for any team coming in and playing the Milwaukee Brewers is to somehow jump and beat Mizorowski. If Mizorowski gets hot, you're done. If you can jump him,
if he leads that thing off, right? Like
exactly right.
It moves the needle for the whole team.
Exactly right. Well, you like in football, you know it. Pressure. Hey, if we can pressure the quarterback, now we flustered it. Now we've changed the game plan. Now we've made a 10-yard out and a 5-yard out. Whatever you do, football wise, if you apply pressure to the quarterback, that's how you eliminate, Aaron Rodgers. That's what we do. I mean, that's how we do.
Well, and it was always like that, like those first 15 plays that were scripted. And like, if you can score on your first possession, the difference it makes in that game. Like you can keep a bad team around. Like if you don't score on that first possession, like all of a sudden they just like field position change, all that. So getting that first possession going in that first, attempt at it is so critical in all sports. Like you have to start fast. You got to finish strong, right? Like I don't know how many times I heard that like throughout my playing career in every sport. Start fast, finish strong. Like it's a simple concept, easier said than done sometimes though, right?
Oh, exactly. And that's money. That's money because, if you look at I think from the day of time, even in the 90s and early 2000s, if you were going to get a stud pitcher and you're going to put him on the hooks, you get him in the first inning. His first inning, I believe you take I've seen a stat, don't quote me on it, but like a Max Scherzer. Let's just use him for an example because he sticks in my mind. Max Scherzer's first inning ERA is, make up a number, 4. After, second through 7, it's 1.8. 8 to 9, it's 3.9 again. It's like you got to get them early or get them late.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Paul Wagner joining us here on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. Paul, when we talk to you next week, the Brewers will be in the middle of a big series in Chicago. That'll be a 4-game series in Chicago, then 3 in Cincinnati, then 3 more against Chicago. And obviously we'll talk more about it next week, but because the series will have started by the time we talk next week, 7 games against the Cubs. You look at the standings right now, the Brewers are 5.5 games ahead, 6 in the loss column. What do the Brewers need to do in those 7 games against the Cubs to maybe take a little weight off their shoulder? Or what do the Cubs need to do to really send a message that that the Central is still up for grabs and the Cubs are fighting tooth and nail until the end of the season?
Right. The Cubs got to win 5. They got to go 5-2 against us.
Yep.
They got to go 5-2. Maybe even 6-1. Yeah, 6-1. But 5-2.
5-2
they can go
sends a message. Yep.
Yeah, realistically, 5-2 sends that message. And on the Brewers' flip side, obviously it's a 7, not a 6. It's not a break even. You'd prefer to go 4-3. I want to win. If I lose 4-3, I'm okay. I've lost one game.
Yep.
I think if we play 500 ball, which you can't in a 7-game series, I get it. But if you play 500 or even ball, the Milwaukee Brewers succeed and they win. That's a win for the Brewers. If the Cubs go 5-2 and win above that, that's a win for the Chicago Cubs.
Paul, I just off the top of my head thinking about what we talked about yesterday and that Little League Classic. Like, what do you think of some of those games, like the Field of Dreams and the Little League Classic? Do you like whenever they have those in the middle of these baseball seasons?
Yeah, I like it. I do. I really do. I think we've got to remember that the money generated in baseball, it's an entertainment dollar. And if you're not entertaining the fan, and if the fan is not entertained, he's not going to spend the money, or she, I apologize. They will not spend the money. So you've got to do things like that. You've got to expand. You've got to grab interest from different people, different locales, different things. You have to do that. I think baseball is doing that. Are they doing it more? I think Field of Dreams was the 2nd or the 3rd game played there.
At least 3rd, if not more.
Third.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it was the 3rd. And, there's a lot of things coming up. Come December 1st, I mean, it's going to be – Major League Baseball is going to be frowned upon and it's going to look ugly. So I think everything you can do, players got to suck it up. If they flew to Iowa and Philly had to play and Twins had to play one game, they play their one game and then they hop on a plane, they fly to Minneapolis, so be it. We did it after strikes before. We've done it. You realize that the fans are important. And that's what you have to do it for. You have to create excitement. You have to create fan base, regardless of what team. You want that. I want the Cubs to hate the White Sox. I want the White Sox to hate the Cubs. I want the Brewers to hate the Cubs. I want the Cubs to hate the Brewers. You want that. You want that.
Yeah, for sure. We got Paul Wagner joining the Mason Crosby show. What was I was looking at, lineup wise, Sal Frelick, Cooper Pratt, like some of these guys coming back. Like, how much leeway do you give like a Sal Frelick with how Luis Lara has been playing, how this lineup has been meshing and going here the last month or so while he's been out? Like, do you give him a week? We talked about this yesterday. Like, how much time do you give him to see if his bat is there and if he can be an impact before you just say, hey, we're shutting you down, we're just going to roll with what we have?
That's the good thing with being 31 games or 30 games over 500. But again, like you just mentioned prior, there's a race still going on, and we got a big series with Chicago coming up. Sal Frelick is your outfielder. He's your right fielder. Lara's been a great addition. He's a great kid. He's a little guy. He can fly. He can jump. He makes great catches. He's great. He's going to be a great player. Hopefully he becomes a great big leaguer. Sal Frelick is the one who will win. Pat Murphy will give him every opportunity. Sal Frelick doesn't necessarily have a timeline on him, but Pat Murphy will see the timeline as days go by and how he produces. How does he bounce back from this? How does he bounce back from that? How does he feel? How does everything going? I think Pat Murphy isn't going to say, you get 10 days and let's see what you can do in 10 days. He watches it, and he'll make that decision, watch them with his eyes. His eyes will tell him what it is, but it's Sal Frelick. Sal Frelick is your right fielder. He's going to be there. Lara's great. He's going to be a good ball player. But right now, to win it, Sal Frelick is it. Yeah.
I like it. My last question, I don't know if Mitch has anything else. I feel like we just got to give Jake Bauers like a round of applause and like how great he's been here in the last month, especially. What do you have? 20, like he was 22 game on base streak, and then he broke it, like it got snapped, and then he got it going again. How good has Jake Bauers been especially through the month of August here?
Unbelievable. And where would this Milwaukee Brewer team be? Would they be out of first place? No, I don't think so. They'd still be 15, 20, 25 games over 500, obviously. What a spark. What a story too. Given the at bats, I'm more impressed with his, and I don't have it in front of me, but his batting average against left-handed pitching. He hits left-handed pitching so well, which gives Pat Murphy the ability for a roster, for that lineup to go. It doesn't have to go righty, lefty, righty, lefty. We don't have to separate it because we're afraid of a bullpen arm coming in. We're not going to play that because I don't know exactly what those splits are. I'm sure he's hitting right-handers better, but he's not, 0-50 off of lefties. He can hit lefties, and he can hit lefties with power. So you got to tip your hat to that. That's coming up in the minor leagues where he was and what you do. Sometimes organizations protect young players from facing left-handers because if a lefty faces a lefty, they're afraid that it's going to demoralize him or reduces how he feels about himself. And you don't want to, mess with a psyche. Jake Bauers has proved he can hit major league pitching regardless, right-handed, left-handed, or anything. He's a big league ball player, and he's damn good.
Paul, you were right on. I think his OPS against lefties is 918.
That's crazy.
And his righties, it's 872. So he's actually better against left-handed pitchers.
Yeah, I take that back. I would have never thought that, but
That's
I know
wild.
Yes. And that is just that's where you look at him as a player and you see the work he's done. He alone has made himself that player because that's a tough hill to climb, man. And he did it, and he's putting up numbers, and tip my hat. Kudos to him. Great player. Great ball player.
I think his leadership too, where it's like whenever he said this team is searching, they're like pressing, trying to get hits and doing all that, as they were all kind of in a little bit of a funk. And ever since that moment, they've been back in form and they're getting hits and in bunches. And it takes that sometimes to have a guy 30 years old. He's been around. He's worked his way into this position, just saying like, hey, let's chill out. And let's just stop trying to find hits and let's just do what we do and go out there and play this game.
Absolutely. It's tough. I mean, I don't know. He's crying out loud. I don't know. He was I think we got him in the I don't know. Where did we get it from? San Diego or New York? We got him from the Yankees, didn't we? But he was but he was a San Diego farmhand. I mean, it's not like the same thing we say. He's a sixth, or I think he was a fifth or a sixth or maybe even a seventh round pick by the Padres. And he's put it together from high school to now. He's learned the game of baseball so well. And it's crazy how many things a high schooler would learn as he grows through different organizations and through maturation. It's just awesome. It's just an awesome story.
Paul Wagner, before we wrap things up, just wanted to throw this stat at you. Jacob Mizrachi has started 38 games in his career. This season, he started 24. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs in any of them. But last year, in his 14 starts, he did give up more than 3 runs in 3 starts. So in 3 of his 38 starts, he gave up more than 3 runs. But still, he's unbelievable, right? We all agree. Jacob Mizrachi is unbelievable.
How many home runs? Give me a home run total.
I don't have home runs, but where I was going with that is Logan Henderson in 18 career starts has never given up more than 3 runs.
Don't shoot the horns on him.
Never. This is unbelievable.
And he's got a no-hitter going in the 8th.
I would never say that.
Yeah.
Relax.
I love it.
Shoot.
But it's crazy how in love we are with Miz, rightfully so, how much national attention he's getting, rightfully so. And Logan Henderson is throwing BBs up there. And it's like, he's not a king strikeout guy. but he's just like, he does not give up runs, and he just goes after. I mean, he was pitching against the Braves this weekend. He just goes after everybody.
Right. And that's the unfortunate thing. We talk about how hard Mizorowski throws. He throws 104. Blah, it's great. Paul Skeens came up a couple years ago. It's great to see that fastball. But pitching will win. I don't know. I look at Baseball Savant. I think Logan Henderson top velo is probably accelerated, but he's probably in that 93 to 94 range with an average sit around 91, 92. He uses his changeup a lot. We know Henderson will throw maybe, let's go 43%, 44% fastballs and probably 36%, 33% changeup. He works, he changes speeds. He's old school. He's Greg Maddux-ish. You know, that's how you do it. And when you put together a rotation, you got a guy that blows heat. Now I got a guy who pitches. And now I got this guy, and now I got this guy, now I got this guy, now I got my bullpen coming here. If JoJo comes, now I got a lefty here. I got my lefties. It's setting up pretty good. The dynamics of this pitching staff isn't all hard throwers, though they have a lot of hard throwers. It's a mix, and it's a good mix, and that's attributed to the successes they've had this year.
Absolutely. Paulie, thank you so much for jumping on. We will talk to you next week. And get some good practice going with your new I'm not gonna say toy.
New glasses.
New glasses. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, boys. You have a good one. Be safe.
Thanks, you too. Paul Wagner joining us here as he does every Tuesday to chat our Milwaukee Brewers and Major League Baseball. Some sad news to pass along from the music and entertainment world. Dolly Parton has passed away at 80. And it's like, this one hits. Yeah, this one hits.
That one hits hard.
I'm seeing I've got already, like, you know, my Mrs. Thunder's family's from Tennessee. They absolutely love her. And it's like, you know, people are saying, you know, can't believe this, you know, she's 80 and she was having some health issues.
We were thinking about going to the Smokies and Dollywood over Labor Day weekend. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna be
packed. I mean, like the Memorial this whole next year. Like it's man. Yeah, that one hits hard. That one's tough.
An amazing personality, did amazingly good work, and spoke on behalf of so many, and represented so many. So Dolly Parton, may her memory be for a blessing.
For sure.
Here on the Mason Crosby Show.
bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets, the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. What a way to
One of the
make
all-time
it.
classics from one of the all-time beloved artists certainly in the 20th century into the 21st century. Dolly Parton passes away at 80, and a tribute to her here on the Mason Crosby Show, coming back with 9 to 5. Phenomenal movie, phenomenal song.
Yeah.
And she was just one of the all-time entertainers who could connect really with any audience. I mean, if there's one thing to talk about her legacy is like, you know, there was, you know, in this world of divisiveness, whether it's political or religious or racial or whatever it might be, like Dolly Parton always worked to bring people together, and we need more Dollies. We need more uniters in the world. And so again, her memory, may her memory be for a blessing, and may she rest and find all the peace she deserves.
Yeah, her and Kenny Rogers, their Christmas album is my all-time favorite. I mean, it's Hard Candy Christmas, like all the, oh gosh, like there are so many good songs on that. And they had a made for TV movie.
With
that album. And I've looked for it for years and could never find a way to get that
because you just want to show the kids.
I just want to show them because it was just like good, wholesome, classic, Dolly Parton stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so again, if you're following,
she also had an edgy side, though.
Yeah, she did. I mean,
what was it?
She didn't put up with anything.
Yeah,
you know, she didn't take any BS from anybody, and you know, she stood by her values and you know, always led with kindness. So
that's right.
And if she needed to go the other way, you know, you knew there was a reason for it, for sure. You know, so you know, I have no good transition from that. And there, you know, there's many ways we could go. I guess I just want to talk about the Brewers real quick with you, Mace, about the whole, like, so David Stearns was the general manager in Milwaukee, and he goes to New York, and everybody says, oh, he's just going to be able to do what he did in New York, even better than what he did. He's going to be able to do what he did in Milwaukee, but even better in New York. Yeah. And it just kind of goes to show, and we talked about this a little bit with Paul, is that like, it's just not that easy. Like, yes, he has bosses who are, you know, he's signing Juan Soto, and he's signing Bo Bichette, and he's signing these, you know, these players who've played in the playoffs and played in World Series. But it doesn't always, you know, I guess I'd love to sit down with David Stearns and just ask him, like, how are you trying to capture like what you had in Milwaukee and mix in the money you have and the free agency, like is it a totally different universe you live in, but like clearly it's not working.
Well, you got to think like, and I will say Dodgers are a unique animal because I do think they still have they have a lot of good prospects. Like they still are developing players through their farm system. Mm-hmm. But maybe, you know, New York, you go there and it's like, for traditionally, they've, you know, spent a lot and like brought in high quality, proven professional players, but maybe they just didn't have the, you know, the development system like the Brewers are kind of forced to have, right? I think out of necessity, the Brewers have to be really good, or they're not going to be competitive at all.
But Mason, David Stearns knows that.
Yeah.
And so wouldn't you think he'd be able to, like, I mean, he's the general manager. Wouldn't you think he'd be able to say to the organization, listen, I get it that we can sign these guys, but look at how I helped build the Brewers. Like, this is why are we
do think, though, then
if
you have an ownership or a group that then they're just like, well,
win now.
That seems like a lot of work. Yeah. It's like a lot of time, energy, and effort. Let's just sign proven players. We might be able to add a couple prospects here and there that can help our team, but why don't we just go buy it, like pay for a guy that's going to seemingly help us right away.
Right.
And then you just deal with culture, and you deal with getting guys to mesh and, like, you know, figure out how to fully buy in together to go win championships.
Yeah. It's just wild that he got to go there and they've signed the contracts that they've signed and have it, you know, and they've had they've had some like half seasons. They've had some half seasons where, oh, here come the Mets. But it's just not been sustainable for whatever reason. It's like, then you look at their farm system. It's like, why aren't you building something like you have more money? Build a better farm system.
Right. Just get
like,
better.
don't like, yes, I know you want to get Juan Soto and Bichette and Simeon and all these players who, some are working out and some aren't. And it's like, but it's like, you can still, while you're doing that, be building the farm system to get it to where what you had with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it's a little wild.
It's fascinating. And then, it's like that. I do think though, you look at, again, I hate bringing up the Dodgers all the time, but you have a superstar in Ohtani.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like,
and you pay him $1 a year for the next 20 years. And then,
and I just think all this personalities and all of these things, just kind of play a part. Like, he kind of plays the game still like he's kind of a kid. Like he might just be, he's from another country. Like his whole view on how this all operates. And so they're like just piecing and putting that type of thing together is so unique. And they're New York. They just they're just dropping the ball. It's just like throw money at things and then just get the best players. But then they should just be able to go out there and execute and win us championships.
Stephen G-Town says, Stearns had to try to reboot an entire organization from the top, ideals, methods, accounting, heck, the cafeteria at the stadium. I don't know if the cafeteria is true, but Schlitz hat Patrick Mason wants to let you know that he thinks you can stream Kenny and Dahlia Christmas to Remember on YouTube.
Oh,
so check
Thank
YouTube.
You.
We
check
didn't.
It out.
It's funny because we never used to think about watching a whole movie on YouTube.
I don't. I don't.
You look at Netflix or you look at Apple or you look at Amazon Prime or whatever it might be. But YouTube has a lot of movies on there.
Christmas to Remember.
So he thinks it's on there. So
right, I'm looking right now.
Absolutely. Baron Sorrell yesterday, not to switch topics, with no segue. Baron Sorrell was asked yesterday, it's good to get the fights out of the way, yesterday, considering that, Matt, LaFleur doesn't like to fight in joint practices. And he said, it's definitely getting time to hit somebody. Okay. And I love that concept. And Mason, when there was a fight and did you guys do joint practice? I mean, you're not that old. You did some joint practices back.
I did joint practice with LaFleur, but never with McCarthy.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, he wasn't a joint practice.
When a fight would break out, where were you? And was it like the bullpens come running in baseball, or is it kind of like, these guys will figure it out before I get you don't really need to get involved, but do you take a step onto the field, or do you want to just get a closer look and see what's going on? I do think
there is almost like a unspoken rule that you have to at least move towards what's going on. It's like you got to kind of have an action towards the scuffle, and then you just kind of determine how quick it was. There'd be times I jokingly grab somebody in the back of the pack. When they'd turn around, they'd realize it was me, and then we'd laugh and try to almost diffuse some of the situations, because it's like, hey, the guys that are fighting, let them deal with it. Let's not get everyone else hurt on the fringes because we just decided we want to throw a punch at somebody.
And wild that it was Golden and Sorrell, teammates from Texas, who Sorrell even then said right after he and Golden had already talked. And they love each other, and it was just football. They got
sometimes it's brothers, and the people you're closest with can make you the most frustrated, right? And you're just sure. All right, I've had enough. We're gonna throw down right now.
But then I heard this morning somebody talking about that they thought LVN may have thrown a punch at Banks.
Oh, really?
And I'm here for that. I'm here for whatever can smack some godforsaken sense into Aaron Banks's motor. I'm here for it.
Yeah, if it lights a fire where it's all of a sudden there's some juice there. I mean, you saw LVN throw the offensive lineman there in Denver, didn't you? He body slammed him with one arm. I mean, LVN's he's got some power. That guy's got some raw power, and he needs to unleash it.
He's a dude, that's for sure.
He's a dude.
414-677-1250 is the talking text line. If you're watching us, of course, you're watching us on the video stream powered by Growth Law, GROTH, Growth Law. If you're injured, Growth gets it. You can watch us on YouTube and X Twitter and on Facebook and Instagram. Anywhere you watch your podcast, anywhere you listen to your podcast, just type in Mason Crosby's name. And either you will get an old commercial of him kicking a ball off of a bell, or kicking like a wine glass, or like,
holding a wine glass through some
holding a wine glass through some warehouse that he's kicking out of.
Most of my videos will be kicking, and then the show will pop up at some point. Yeah,
exactly.
I have one question for you before we go to the extra points. Do the Bucks exist? Are they still a team?
I don't know if they exist this year, man.
Can they surprise us, Mitch? Can they
25 and a half? 25 and a half, Mace.
That's your number?
That's the number.
That's the number?
That's the number at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I'll take that over.
I think I'll take the over.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that they go like 0-11 and like and things go sideways. Yeah.
Like we talked about with Paul, not start fast, and then it's just
25 and a half, I think, is the second lowest in the Eastern Conference. So they are predicted right now to finish 14th out of 15 teams in the Eastern Conference. Listen, things could go, they could mesh, and they could decide to fight, and they could fight, and they could win 33 games. And honestly, again, it's going to be more about, do they play hard night in and night out? Does Taylor Jenkins get them to play hard? And do we, as Bucks fans, as Wisconsinites, appreciate a team that works hard versus like if they start 4-13 and they have, and they're not getting along, then is it you trade Hero, you trade Turner, you trade Kuzma, and you really, and then then the year after you win 8. And then you start building, but still, like, what years do they control their number one picks? And the NBA just changed the draft. So it's less likely to get the number one. So none of being bad helps anymore. And teams that are bad are about to get really smushed on.
Did you lock in your 10-pack?
I've not locked it in yet. I actually am going through my email inbox today. And so I see my email from my person right here. Milwaukee Bucks 26-27. Hi, Mitch. The schedule is finally here. Figured I'd send a link your way. You can also see which games are in the 10 packs, but I know you like to build your own. So let's talk.
Someone from the 262, Bucks will win 41-45 games without a doubt. Team is good.
I will take that wager.
I can't decide if they're being sarcastic. Like, it's hard to tell in text.
I think they're right. It is. It's hard to tell tone. I think they're being legit. I think they think they're good. And
they could be. I
don't know if they could be.
I don't know. I mean,
like, every piece has to click for them to be good. It could.
This is just that team.
Then you know what? Then we're going to get to games on a discount, and we're going to enjoy the run because we're going to be paying attention.
That's right.
Some others aren't. All right.
Locked in.
Mason's Extra Points are next here on the Mason Crosby Show.
Yes, sir.
on Mason Crosby's mind today.
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Mason Crosby Show. Dusty Evely, Paul Wagner joined the show today. Sad day in the world. Dolly Parton, we just heard that she passed away. Gonna remember her. I found on YouTube. I found the movie.
It? Oh, great!
Yeah, that will be rolling through the holiday season.
Yep.
I might even watch it today. But yeah, I'm gonna be listening to her stuff and thinking about the memories that she brought, especially when I was a kid. I feel like I just remember many holidays and different things.
What an entertainer!
If I say these four numbers, what does it make you think of? 3, 3, 6, 15.
3, 3, 6, 15.
Yeah.
Something about field goals.
AFC North teams starting quarterbacks the past 20 seasons. 3 for Baltimore, 3 for Bengals, 6 for Steelers, 15 for the Browns.
Yeah, the Browns are a mess.
But they got Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Everything is going well there.
Ridiculous, Mason. It's absolutely ridiculous. We didn't even get to the Packers alternate uniforms. We'll have to talk about that further on this week. And your thoughts just in general on.
We got to take them in a little bit more.
That's right. That's right.
Got to form an opinion.
He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis. We are the Mason Crosby Show.
Later.